All right. Excuse me, my allergies. I don't know what it is. Anyways, I know I haven't been drinking enough water the last couple of days. I've been having a migraine. But that's not my point for this video. My point for this video is rebranding and regrouping. If I can talk. So, I already got one, maybe two potential business partners, new business partners, because the old ones didn't work out. So, I'm regrouping and rebranding. And so we're going to come up with a new name. This won't be DD&D anymore in the future. It'll be something else. My next project, if I stay here, is to work on this south property line. I had two surveyors. This one was line of sight. And this one was GPS. You can see how far they're off. So what I'm probably going to do is draw a line halfway down the middle and call it good. But GPS surveying can be off up to like 16 feet. This is about 12, maybe 14 feet. But it does get even wider down there. And then it starts narrowing out again. So, like I said, I'm just going to draw a line down the middle and call it good. But, what I'm going to do, I already got a guy lined up to do the fence if we can't get it done ourselves in a timely fashion. Next thing I'm going to do is buy culverts, whistles. They call them whistles because when the wind blows through them, they whistle. I got 3 up front for a project up front. So I need to get 12 more for my project down here. I need to get rid of that coon. But anyways, David killed it and just left it laying out in the road to detour other coons. It was frozen to the ground and I couldn't move it. But I need to find my gloves. I think I put them in my camper and move it over to the chicken coop at least. But anyways, and then the chickens can eat it. These are the whistles. Basically, I think these are either 12 or 15 inch culverts, and these are only, I think, 20 foot long. Yeah, they're 20 footers. Maybe. Yeah, it's about 20 feet. I think I had 6, yeah. So they're 20 feet, so I could drive, blah, blah, blah. But anyways, along the fence line, I also want to be able to drive it. So we're going to have to make it wider than 20 feet so that I could put the fence up and there will be room on the other side, for excess room for, say, erosion. So I'm going to rent, once I buy the whistles, I'm going to rent a backhoe with the front loader. And between me, David, and the new guy, we're basically going to fill up this creek with clay and rock. And we'll take it from that pond area because I want to make that pond bigger. The guy I hired to do the pond kind of jacked it up and he won't come back out to fix it. I mean, it holds water, but he didn't do what I asked him to do. And yeah, he hasn't showed up since to do any other work. And I got 2 other excavator companies that I hired to come out and do the work, and they never showed up. my stupid neighbor to the north of me is one of them. He was like, I called him the month before. He said he would be here, and I was like, so when you coming? I'll be there when I said I'll be there. I was like, well, I didn't know when that was. Well, I got to look at the calendar. And he never got back to me. He never showed up. But he's kind of a douchebag, so whatever. Yeah, I caught him in like a half dozen lies. Besides that one, you know, besides being a no-call, no-show, that to me is basically being a liar. Then I tried to hire one out of Greenfield, and he was a no-call, no-show. He was like, oh yeah, I'll be there next week. And then he never showed up. And then he was ignoring my text messages and my phone calls. So anyway, this was the line of sight. And this was the GPS. So they're not far off, just a couple few feet. So if I go halfway in the middle, it'll be fair to both parties, you know. It won't hurt either one of us too much, whichever side it's on. So anyways, I'll build the berm up here to where I can drive on my side, and then the erosion on this side won't affect the fence very much. And then I'll put the whistles in it so that the water can flow through. And yeah, and then if it's not enough, if we don't have enough culvert, you know, we'll have a spillway somewhere. We'll figure out where the spillway is and put some extra rocks so that it doesn't wash out the berm, if you will. Because that's what happened to these berms, is they didn't do them right. It was like the guy had 3 ponds here originally before the last owner bought it and sold it to us. And one of the ponds never held water, and the other 2 ponds blew out because he just didn't do it right. You want it to have its own spillway so it doesn't blow out. That being said, armadillos will destroy a pond, so they will dig holes in your pond berm, and that could also cause it to blow out. So even if he did do it right, again, the armadillos might have screwed it up. So, yeah, this is the south property line. I want to build a berm up here. And then he can have a pond on his side, and then I'll do a series of ponds, because that's where one of the ponds was over there. I'll do a series of ponds on my side, but at least then I can drive the fence line. So I need it to be at least, 12, 14 feet on my side. Well, that's one culvert right there. So put 2 together, and basically, yeah, have it wide enough to where I can drive and have the fence up. Once that's done, then I'll hire the guy to put up the fence, unless we do it ourselves. But like I said, it depends on how proactive and productive the new guy is. Because everybody else who's been here has not been very proactive or productive. I pretty much have to do 90% of the work and pay 90% of the bills. And I'm only home 2 days a week. So obviously not much gets done. But yeah, we could do a series of ponds up here. Once we get that berm done down there, then we can start building ponds up here, But anyhow, I think ideally you want to start at the bottom and work your way up. So that's probably what we'll end up doing. We got the one up there, but basically what you do is you start at the bottom, you put in your culverts, and then wherever the water backs up to, that's where you start your next pond. And then and just keep going up the hill. So we got the one up here. We'll just keep making it bigger if we need to, and collect dirt and stuff from down here. And yeah, and then I got that other property I own 10% in. I can always if I can get a backhoe guy with a dump truck over there to bring me some clay and rock. You know, then I'll have more clay and rock from that property to go over here. But I can't get anybody to show up to do that either. Everybody's a no call, no show. So, anyways. So maybe I'll have to buy my own dump truck, but that's expensive. Or rent one. Maybe I'll have to rent one. Rent the backhoe and a dump truck. Since I got a CDL and I know how to run a dump truck, I could do that. I just never thought of that before now. But I'm not sure where to rent the dump truck, but I guess I can ask around. So yeah, I might do that. The first week, rent the backhoe to move the dirt down there from the pond. Get this all cleared out and ready to go. And then when I need more dirt, I'll rent a dump truck and a backhoe and spend a few days doing that, hauling dirt over here on a dry day where I don't got to worry about sinking the dump truck into the ground. I can just turn it around up here, back it down in there, and dump it, and then let the backhoe do the rest. Or that's even an option too. I can, the 2 days that I'm home, rent the dump truck and the backhoe. If the backhoe can drive, you know, like on the highway, it's only 2 miles away. Then we could just drive the backhoe over here after we're done over there. And I just bring dirt over here and pile dirt over here, and then use that to move the dirt to the right place. So that's an option too. Because basically it'll cost me $100 to have the backhoe delivered. But if I have them use the dump truck to deliver it, then I can use both. So that's an option, because that's what the neighbor does. He uses a dump truck to haul his backhoe. So yeah, this is going to be garden area. Like I said, I'm looking for proactive, productive people for new business partners. So this is going to be, more like a mini garden areas. So I want a 50 by 50 plot here and a 50 by 50 plot here. I was gonna have roads go down the sides, but now I'm thinking I'm gonna change that and have the road go down the middle. And it'll basically tee off right around here, either right here or maybe even right here. It's a little marshy right here. And if you see tin cans in the roads, that's because I thought at one time I can use them for traction, but it didn't work as good as I thought it would. So now I got to pick them all up. But anyway, Oh, that's the dog that we're dog sitting. So anyways, if you need a dog sitter, we do that option too. We're not set up for indoor dogs too much. We just got the greenhouse. But for emergency purposes, we can dog sit. And we do charge for that, but we're cheaper than most people, mostly because we're not as fancy set up as most people. So, but as we get more set up for that, then we can charge a little more. I don't remember why I bought this pool, but I got it for a decent deal. It doesn't hold water all the way to the top, but it holds water. And, we could use it for raising fish or whatnot. The ducks liked it when we had ducks, but we don't have any ducks anymore. So, and I got to get this other crap out of here. But anyways, yeah, it holds water. We can do different things with it. We can even use it for growing crops, basically. When it stops holding water, maybe fill it in with dirt and have it as a raised bed garden. Who knows? There's a lot of options. But I got that for like $100 or something, and then this was donated to us. Not sure what we're gonna do with it. I use these toppers for sheds. If you look at that one over there, build some pallet walls underneath, and then this could be the roof, basically. So it's just a matter of doing it. I got 1, 2, 3 toppers that we need to build sheds with. These were free. They could be used for gardening, but they're pretty much shot now. Nobody ever did anything with them. But I brought them here for potential raised bed gardens. Now they're probably pretty close to just compost material. But anyways, and I collect lick tubs for gardening and for rainwater collection. The ones that hold water I need to move to the goat yard, keep the ghosts from going under the fence. That or rocks. But we don't have running water here, so I use the lick tubs for their rainwater collection. And then we got totes. If I need to, I can go either my new property, once it's got running water. It has a well, but it don't have running water. I got to fix that. Meanwhile, we go to our friends and we get water from them. And we bring it over here for the animals. And that's our emergency water. And so we got rainwater collection. And I put these bricks in the tubs around the chicken yards so that the chickens don't drown. And the ones that have the bricks have liquid cattle feed in them for nutritional supplement. I got these I got to put in there, but I need the other half brick. See, I got this here. Apparently this one don't hold water proper, so I might have to pull it out. But so I put a full brick and a half brick in there for the chickens so they don't drown. And that also helps keep the chickens in the chicken yard so they don't go underneath the fence. And then then I plan on putting the ones that don't hold water on the inside so that they can, scratch in it or whatever, leaves and whatnot will fall in it. But we could put dirt in there. And that'll be another, whatever. If we don't use them for gardening, we can use them for gardening too. But this way, it'll also block them from getting out. Once we got enough ones that hold water around, and I can pull these out. But And like I said, they'll keep the predators from getting in and out too. Now the little chickens can still squeeze in and out through the bottom, but but you know that'll just keep the bigger ones from getting out while we're trying to acclimate them to the property. So this is our chicken yard, and yeah, I plan on making it bigger as well. This whole section is going to be a chicken run. And then it'll also be like our scrap metal yard too, where we'll put things that we're going to recycle or repurpose in this yard. That's David's camper and camping area. He's now living in the greenhouse, but this was his area back here. Once I get that berm up and to where we can drive to the back corner, David's going to end up moving back there in that back corner. And me, I'll probably have my place up here in the front where I can keep an eye on things, or maybe back here in the back. This is where my mom wanted to be originally, but now she's not probably going to be here. She's going to be over at Kaplinger. So I might build my cabin back here in the back. But who knows? This is the most ideal place, so it could also just be a place that we build for rental to make some money, because it is nice back here and it's peaceful. But and this is Sarah's camper. She hasn't been here in over a year. She's basically paying me rent to have her camper here with all of her stuff. She probably ain't coming back. I don't know. But you know, she's good for some things, but she didn't really live up to the expectations either. Dawn was camping out back here. This is a good blackberry patch. I'd like to salvage it. Build like cattle panel rings around it to keep it safe. But I want to do a third goat yard back here. And this third goat yard back here might even be like the main goat yard. When I first started, David was like, we need to have, goat yards to rotate them in. Now he's saying that we should have one main yard, and then we rotate them, we let them go out from the, so the main yard should be in the middle, and then we release them from that yard and then let them go into the other yards, and we randomly, or we rotate them in those yards. If he would have told me that in the beginning, then I would have done it accordingly, but he likes to change the story halfway through and act like that was what he said the whole time, or that's what he did the whole time, but that's not true. So, but we only got 2 goat yards. He kept saying that we need 3 goat yards minimum. We got the first goat yard up, and then it was like pulling teeth to get him to work on the second goat yard. And after the second goat yard, he's pretty much not done jack crap since. Took me, I don't know how many years to get him to do the second one. And basically our arrangement when we first became business partners was I worked my day job, or whatever, my trucking job, to pay the bills. And he works here on the land and basically takes all the knowledge that he has and put it into practice. And then when I'm home, I help, right? And at first he did all right, but and I had him on a salary. Uh, he was using all of my equipment, the whole 9 yards for the first 5 years, and then, like I said, he petered out on me. So I just slowly started taking my equipment and my money and our partnership away. I hated to do it, but if you're not going to fulfill your contract, your agreement, then why should I? The problem is David wants to be totally off the grid, more so than the Amish. And I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem being the one in the system or walking the line, if you will. So this would be a great spot back here for a cabin. It's the high ground back here, and it's nice and peaceful. And it won't be as much room once we get these ponds built up, because we'll be using some of it to make the ponds bigger. But yeah. Anyway, like I said, I don't mind being the one in the system and whatnot. I just want people to do their part, to contribute. Meet me halfway, If you're not going to meet me halfway, I'm going to cut you off, get rid of you, whatever the case may be. David's my friend. Even though he's dragging me down, I don't want to put him on the streets and make him homeless. I've already had several people try to make me either do that or talk me into doing that. A lot of people want me to get rid of him. And he's not totally useless. He's just not he's not fruitful. And that's a problem. But again, he's not totally useless. So, like he keeps trying to tell me, a friend of ours says you got to use people for what they're good for. And I'm like, well, what if they're worthless? What if they don't do shite? Then what? Because what he's basically doing is beating around the bush saying that, oh, I'm an intellectual, so you need to just use me for my knowledge while I sit on my butt while you do all the work and pay all the bills. Like, fuck that. So, it's just the two of us. We both have to work. I work all week long to earn the money to pay the bills. Then I come home and I work my butt off. Yesterday I was so sore. I had a migraine headache. I couldn't hardly walk. My back hurt. I worked my butt off yesterday. And and I'm still up and working today. I'm supposed to be on the road today, but my dispatcher hasn't got me a load yet. So I'm still up and doing stuff today. Mostly videotaping right now, but I'm probably getting low on disk space again. But anyways, like I said, this video is mostly for rebranding and regrouping. I'm looking for new business partners. And this is basically what I'm doing. I got the greenhouse up front. That's where David's living right now. But yeah, one investor came last month or so, and he basically told me, you literally have a bum living in your greenhouse full of trash and dead plants. That's what I'm working with. And I want to turn it around. So, so yeah, basically, I'm just going to be raising goats unless I get some new business partners who are productive and proactive. And otherwise, like I said, I'm just going to raise goats, and probably I'll live in Kaplinger with my mom until I got a cabin built over here and drill for water over here. But like I said, I got those other two properties. I got Kaplinger. I mostly bought Kaplinger because it was cheap. I paid $5,000 for it. It's already got a well and a septic system and a building. All I have to do is fix up the building and put in the bath and shower stuff and the laundry facilities. Here, it cost me over $20,000 to do that because I got to drill and dig for and put in a septic and build a building and put in all that stuff. Where that one already had pretty much everything. I just have to fix it up. And it's 2 miles that way. So I bought that for this property. For a bath or shower house and laundry facilities. Pretty much that's it. You know, and then, you know, if you have to go number 2, you can just run over there. It's 2 miles versus going 5 miles into town. And then, Rusty, I guess you're not the alpha no more. He's like, who cares? So anyways, and then I got the property that I bought 10% into with that other community scam project. So that project is a bust, has been for some time. So I'm also looking at buying those people out. And it's also 2 miles that way. So you go 39 north from here to the T, turn right, you go to Kaplinger. That's the Kaplinger property. It's not very big. Then you turn left, and about the same amount of distance is the other property, and it's 20 acres. This one's 15, and then the one in Kaplinger is just a lot. So it might be a quarter acre tops. So, yeah. So I'm just cleaning this place up, working on fencing for goats, and like I said, I'll probably keep my chickens just to keep the bugs down, and keep the cats to keep the mice down, and probably just run goats. But this new guy, he's supposed to be here next week. He's supposed to be good with plants. Oh, I came down here for my gloves originally. I need to get those. So, and this land's, and the other land, but this one's better. Both properties are great for growing food. So, my camper's a mess. I just use it for storage for the most part. I store food and, here's my gloves and accessories. But I also got my bed in there too. So I sleep in here on nice days, but on the really bad days, I sleep in my big truck. I mean, I can sleep down here. I've slept in the kitchen camper at 20 below. You know, so I got extra blankets just in case I need to sleep in my camper when it's like really cold. But if I got the option to sleep in my big truck, then I'm gonna sleep in my big truck because it's more comfortable. But anyhow, I guess I'm gonna go get started on fencing again till they dispatch me, and then I'll be driving truck for a week. Then, like I said, that other guy, he's supposed to come up next week. We're gonna bring up his greenhouse because the city where he's living now made him take it down. um, he, so he's bringing his greenhouse up next week so he can get started growing stuff since our greenhouse is full of trash and dead plants. um, get it set up. I've got a plot cleared already for where he can put that up. And because I'm applying for one from the government, and so we can either set his up there, or we can set it up next to that spot, and then that way, if I get the government grant for that greenhouse, then I could just put it there, and then we won't have to move his or whatever. So we'll figure it out. But I got all this whole side here that could be used for greenhouse, growing food, whatever. The whole north side is going to be for goats for the most part. But once the goats get in and clear stuff out, we can grow other things like watermelons, pumpkins, stuff like that. Just rotate the goats each month, or every 3 weeks, rotate the goats to a different yard. And after the goats are done with that yard, we can grow food there. So yeah, and it'll be fertilized with goat poop. But anyway, and then eventually, if we don't grow food on this side, I'm gonna do goat yards all the way down this side too. So it just depends on how well this new guy works out. And apparently he's got friends who are like-minded, who are proactive. So if they show up, maybe it'll work. Maybe it's a new beginning. But like I said, I'm rebranding myself, regrouping. And so we won't be operating under DD&D for much longer. It'll be another name. Haven't come up with one yet. But DD&D is going by the wayside. Unless one of the other people's name's David. There's a lot of Davids, so it's possible that we could find more David business partners and keep the name, but that's not likely. Anyways, all right, I'm gonna get back to work. I've been videotaping too much today, but I thought I'd be dispatched already. So we got grapes up here, and I got passion fruit up here, and blackberries up here. And that's about it. So, okay, bye.